In the dim mists of time, nestled in the fertile plains of ancient Mesopotamia, there arose a city whose grandeur touched the heavens, Uruk. Its towering walls, proud and unyielding, shimmered under the sun, drawing travelers from distant lands, captivated by its wealth, culture, and mystery. At the helm of this splendid realm reigned Gilgamesh, a king whose lineage was woven from the threads of divinity itself, 2/3 god, 1/3 man. His strength was the stuff of legends, his wisdom as deep as the Euphrates, yet his heart, cold, unyielding, and carved from stone, cast shadows upon the land. Beneath the weight of his heavy hand, the people of Uruk groaned in despair. Gilgamesh, though mighty, ruled as a tyrant, his boundless desires unchecked. His ambition and lust for power knew no end, and his subjects were mere pebbles beneath his feet. Their cries reached the ears of the gods, who in their wisdom sought balance. Thus from clay and divine breath they fashioned Enkidu, a wild man untamed by civilization, yet pure of spirit and innocent as the dawn. He roamed the wilderness, living among beasts, unaware of the world of men. The fates decreed that Gilgamesh and Enkidu would meet. When the wild man came face to face with the king of Uruk, the earth itself quivered beneath their might. Their battle shook the heavens, a clash of gods and men, but neither could gain the upper hand. Exhausted and awed by each other's strength, they laid down their arms, not as enemies, but as brothers. From that moment on, their bond was unbreakable, forged in the fires of mutual respect. Together they embarked on a journey that would etch their names in the annals of eternity. Their first great challenge led them to the fabled cedar forest, a place guarded by the monstrous Humbaba, whose breath alone could level mountains. Undaunted, the two friends confronted the beast, and through a combination of cunning and courage, they vanquished it. News of their triumph spread like wildfire, and soon the gaze of the gods fell upon them, none more intently than the goddess Ishtar, who desired Gilgamesh for her own. But the proud king spurned her advances, unafraid to recount the suffering she had brought to her previous lovers. Scorned and enraged, Ishtar unleashed the bull of heaven upon Uruk, seeking to crush Gilgamesh's kingdom. Yet even against such divine wrath, Gilgamesh and Enkidu stood firm. They fought the bull, their swords flashing like lightning, and once more emerged victorious. However, the gods do not take kindly to those who defy their will. In their celestial council, the gods decreed that Enkidu must pay for their defiance. The death of his beloved companion shattered Gilgamesh. For the first time, the mighty king faced the cruel truth of mortality. His grief was immeasurable, and with it came a desperate fear of his own end. No longer content with the transient glories of this world, Gilgamesh set out on a perilous quest to discover the secret of eternal life, seeking the elusive Utnapishtim, the one man who had been granted immortality by the gods themselves. The road ahead was fraught with dangers. Gilgamesh passed through the dark and foreboding tunnels beneath the mountains of Mashu, where the sun dared not shine. He ventured to the garden of the gods, where jeweled trees glittered with fruit, and met Siduri, the wise innkeeper of the gods. She warned him of the futility of his quest, but he pressed on, driven by a fear that gnawed at his soul. With the ferryman Urshanabi, he crossed the waters of death and finally stood before Utnapishtim. The ancient sage shared with Gilgamesh the tale of the great flood that had cleansed the earth, and of the god's gift of eternal life. Yet Utnapishtim cautioned him that such a gift was beyond the reach of mortals. Still, he offered Gilgamesh a test. If he could stay awake for 6 days and 7 nights, immortality would be his. Weary from his journey, the king succumbed to sleep, and with it, his hopes for eternal life faded. As a final gesture, Utnapishtim revealed to him a secret. On the ocean floor grew a plant that could restore youth. With renewed hope, Gilgamesh retrieved the plant, cradling his fragile dream in his hands. But as he rested beside a spring, a serpent stole the plant, shedding its skin and slithering away, renewed. In that moment, Gilgamesh realized that immortality, like the serpent's skin, was forever beyond his grasp. Sorrowful but wiser, Gilgamesh returned to Uruk. As he gazed upon the city walls, the very stones he had laid with his own hands, he understood. His true legacy was not in eternal life, but in the lasting works of his reign, the walls, the temples, the stories that would live on long after his death. Accepting the fate that awaits all men, Gilgamesh resolved to rule not as a tyrant, but as a wise and just king, knowing that his immortality would be found in the memory of his people and the enduring strength of Uruk.